Okay, wonderful. So we have a loaded panelists of our esteemed guests today, so we won't waste any time. We always begin all things by acknowledging the original stewards of the various lands we are on. We acknowledge our ancestors. We acknowledge all those who toiled without compassion or compensation. We acknowledge all the elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. So we're actually going to just play a quick video, and this is for the Beck Initiative. So if you can please do the honors.
Step into the transformative Black Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub, BEC, a pivotal federal Black entrepreneurship program component. In partnership with Carleton University's Sprott School of Business and Dream Legacy Foundation, BEC endeavors to revolutionize our comprehension of Black entrepreneurship in Canada. Beyond a mere hub, BEC encompasses 6 regional research hubs, generating vital data to empower Black founders nationwide. Discover the stories of Black entrepreneurs in the Dream Legacy Foundation, spearheading BEC initiatives nationwide. We unite a community of entrepreneurs, nonprofits, schools, and researchers. As a central hub, Dream connects individuals and supports Black entrepreneurs in Canada. Join our live Zoom sessions on Thursdays at 2 p.m. EST to acquire new skills and be part of the exciting journey. What else does the Black Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub offer? Delving into the role of a database for Black entrepreneurs in Canada, BEC provides a potent networking tool linking entrepreneurs with like-minded individuals, partners, mentors, and advisors. Navigate the Black entrepreneurship ecosystem with BEC's map. Engage in surveys representing Black voices accurately, contributing to a nuanced understanding of diversity in entrepreneurial landscapes. Amplify your voice by completing the survey and be a vital force in shaping the narrative of Black businesses' success in Canada. Join us in building a thriving future for Black entrepreneurship. Let's join forces to shape the future of Black entrepreneurship in Canada, amplifying our stories, experiences, and collective impact for a thriving and successful community. For more resources that support Black entrepreneurs, click on this link.
That was amazing. And I really want to just again thank everyone for showing up, being present. In the chat box, I want you all to be active. Put how you guys are feeling. If you've all attended all of the sessions that we've had, please put it in the chat and let us know your experience and how it's been for you. So like I said, it is 7 minutes past the hour, so we won't take much time for any extra chitter chatter. We'll get right to our esteemed guests. So today we have our panelists. We have Dipo, Alleyne, and please, I do apologize in advance if I do mess up the last name. Please correct me, okay? But we have Dipo, Alleyne, we have Clavia, Alleyne, we have Nerissa, Alleyne, we have Alfred, Burgesson, we have Blessed Brooks, and Efia Teki Anan. How did I do? Please forgive me in advance. So let's start with Dipo. That's who I see first. So please introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers and tell us about your remarkable work.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning if you're in the East Coast, if you're in the West Coast here. Afternoon for you if you're in the East Coast. My name is Dipo Alleyne. I'm the Executive Director of Black Business Ventures Association. This is an organization that I co-founded as well. And the work we do is working with entrepreneurs from the Black community in Western Canada that are pursuing their technology and innovation project. We are part of the Black Ecosystem Program, and that's a federally funded Black entrepreneurship program to support Black entrepreneurs across Canada. And the work we do is really trying to bridge that divide between the technology and innovation ecosystem and the Black community, and many of people within our community that are building great products that are trying to get it to the market and are trying to build wonderful companies out there. Happy to be here today and happy to share my learning journey experience. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And if I didn't mention it before, it's called the Black Entrepreneurship Ecosystem in Canada. Okay. So just to clarify that. And Clavia, how about you?
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Clavia, Alleyne. I'm the Vice President and co-founder of the Black Business Association of BC. And for those of you who haven't heard of us, what we basically focus on is, I guess, entrepreneurial empowerment for Black entrepreneurs. So that's business, whether it's capacity expansion, whether it's business services, support services, whatever we can do to help you expand the capacity of your business, to help you pivot, shift, whatever supports we can provide on a business, from a business standpoint, we try to endeavor our best to provide those services to entrepreneurs. We have youth programs as well. There's a lot of things that we do, and I guess I can leave some of that information for Nerissa. She's also the co-founder, and she can pretty much fill in the gaps.
Perfect. We'll go right to Nerissa.
Hi, good day, everyone. Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be amongst so many wonderful members of our Black community. So my name is Nerissa Allen, co-founder of the Black Business Association of BC. And as Clavia mentioned, we provide various support services. But I guess our main mandate is creating market access opportunities for Black entrepreneurs. So we really focus on how do we help Black entrepreneurs make money, and that's our core focus. So we have a store in Vancouver where we sell members products, and we have over 44 Black businesses selling their products in our store right now. We look for international market access opportunities. We've taken members to Ghana this past December to look for investment opportunities. We have a procurement program where we help businesses ready themselves to apply for government tenders at the various levels of government. And we have an online platform. It's a national database of Black-owned businesses, as well as an e-commerce platform where business can showcase and sell their products. So we really focus on providing that market access. So thanks for having me here today.
Thank you. Let's do Alfred. You're next.
Thank you, Mats. And hi, everyone. My name is Alfred Burgesson, joining you all from Halifax, Nova Scotia, the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. And happy to be here. I'm the founder CEO of Tribe Network, and we describe ourselves as an entrepreneurship and innovation hub for racialized entrepreneurs. We're also a partner within the Black entrepreneurship ecosystem, and we are we have the honor of working with many of the partners here and across the country in serving Black entrepreneurs. Our focus area through BEP is focusing on Black entrepreneurs in Atlantic Canada. And so we provide them access to resources like mentorship, coaching, grant funding, educational workshops, connections to banks, connections to the VC ecosystem. And we're really proud of the work that we've been able to do in the last couple of years and look forward to this discussion. I'll also share in the chat a link to our impact report where you can learn a lot more about Tribe and what we do. Thank you.
Amazing. Yes. I am a member. I need to be more active. I will admit to that, but I definitely will. So please, for sure. Okay. And Effia, please, you're next.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Effia, and I am here from Vaughan, which is just outside Toronto, Ontario. I say I'm every woman just because I wear so many different hats. First of all, I'm a mom of 3, so I'll start there. That's one of the most rewarding roles I carry. But I'm also the owner and visionary behind African Royalty, which is an African fashion accessories business. So something like this that I'm wearing is one of our custom pieces that we make for clients. I'll put all my information in the chat for that. So that's a business I started about 10 years ago this year. And so we're scaling that. It's been a side hustle and something I've paid attention to, not type thing. So really working on that. I'm also a program manager for Black Girls Inc., which is a program designed to help Black women who are entrepreneurs or wanting to be entrepreneurs to try and figure out what it is that they need to get into the business of owning their own business, as well as what they need to do to scale their businesses. So that's connecting them with banks, people who do social media stuff, Google, and things like that. So it's an incubator as well. I also own a consultancy firm called Rise and Royalty. And I'm full-time a program manager at YACE, which is a community organization that tries to help in prevention and intervention of community violence for youth that are ages 6 to 29. So I carry a lot of hats, but my goal is to help Black people to be better and to do better. whether that's through entrepreneurship or basic safety and life skills, right? To get to a point where they can then look into owning their own businesses or being successful in whatever they choose to do. So overall, that is my goal. That is what I do in every facet of my life, and that's what I want to continue to do.
Amazing. You are an amazing woman that I truly, I wish I had 50, 80 more years to see how you're going to become, because I know it's just a rising star for sure. And last but definitely not least, please bless it.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for the honor to be here. As she said, my name is Blessed Brooks. I can definitely relate to Effie's statement about being every woman and multiple hats. I'll just own in on a few. I started the Oni Spa about 6 years ago now. Due to my own health issues and wanting to support my community and providing support. I went on to become a fertility doula because of that work and helped a lot of women overcome constant reproductive health issues. And in doing that work, I would constantly meet women who were either in health, wellness, and beauty or needed support in those areas. And I would always be sharing resources and whatever I knew or could share to help them out. And so it was because of that initiative and that passion that I started Her Network. And HER is an acronym that is HERR for Health, Aesthetics, Retail, and Resources. And so with that, we support people who are starting their business, as well as looking for co-working spaces, networking opportunities, and resources for funding, getting established with their branding and things like that. So we support the BIPOC community there. And we recently got a space. So that's now a space that we can use for events. Thank you so much. And co-working. So I was my own avatar. I was working out of my home and I wanted to create a space that we could have a commercial address, whether it's a virtual address or a physical location for pop-ups. And it was affordable. So no matter what, you could actually, start making money outside of your home and not think of the overhead. So that's what we've done with that space. And as I said, that's the BIPOC community. Also acting as managing director for Sisters in Solidarity, and we support Black women with different capacity building sessions and networking opportunities as well. And before that, I did branding and marketing, and that's still a passion of mine to support with design. So that's a little bit about me. Happy to be here.
Not a little. You're doing amazing work. And you as well, definitely a shining star. So, okay, so let's get right. I think, Bless, since you started, let's start with you. What inspires you? What truly inspires you about your work right now?
I love the success stories. So I love seeing people win. I love hearing back of people overcoming. I truly love what I do. Like I said, it started with the spa. People would come in for a service and we'd have great conversation. Now people are driving across town to come with no appointment to get the resource or to share some tea or, to pour into them. And I truly love it. And that's why I created the online platform. So I love seeing people win. I love seeing our community win. Again, I share those same sentiments with Effia and with Nerissa as well. And so getting those stories back is what has constantly led me to add to my brand and sort of reach out for more resources. So the more the community needs, the more I'll put my ear to the ground to hear what's out there for them. And that's why I think collaboration is great, because we're definitely stronger when we can share the resources across the ecosystem.
Absolutely. Dipo, how about you? What inspires you?
I'm going to say something similar to what Bless just said. I think for me, when I look at the entrepreneurs that we work with and empathizing with the struggles that they go through, to see them come out of these with meaningful traction on their project is really that thing that gets me excited about the work we do every day. We have a lot of brilliance in our community. I think for a long time, there's not been that opportunity for many of them to showcase what they've got. In the past few years, we've seen a lot of success stories starting to come out. And really, that's a testament to the value that we can create. Looking over and seeing people that have had to do a lot of sacrifices, because being an entrepreneur is not easy. Seeing them pursue this and seeing them succeed through it is really what motivates me. to top it up, is just looking forward to seeing our first Black Canadian unicorn. I think that will be a huge milestone, and the work we're doing today, many members of the table here doing, is what's going to lead us there.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. And Nerissa, how about you? What inspired you?
I think it's the same as all the rest have said. It's watching our community grow out of the weeds. We've been in a dark place for some time, and I think as ecosystem partners, all of the efforts that we're putting together, we're starting to see the fruits of our labor. And when we see our members grow, when we see the Black entrepreneurs thrive, their businesses scaling, they're hiring, they're making more money, they're at tables where we weren't at tables before. Those are all things that make us so provide these platforms to support and help however we can. And it's not always the same help that is going to be every day. We don't know what we're going to be challenged or faced with today or tomorrow, but we all come together every day to say, okay, what is needed? How can we help? And let's do it. And it's very inspiring. And I love to see how we've come together as an ecosystem to support our people and to make sure our community is thriving and is going to thrive for the rest of the generations to come. So yeah.
Again, totally agree. This is, very inspirational and a generational monument that's happening right now, especially with all of the series. It's really making a huge impact and will for future generation. How about you, Alfred?
It's a good question. I think for me, my entrepreneurship journey began in high school, and in my first year in university, I was running my first business, and I walked into an innovation hub in Halifax, and this is a publicly funded space, right? Across Canada, there are several different innovation hubs, and most of them are publicly funded spaces. And when I walked into the one in Halifax, I didn't see us in there. And I didn't see us from a membership standpoint. I didn't see us represented on their team, on their staff, on their board. And so right away back then, I knew something was off. And that's when the seed for Tribe Network kind of was planted for me, was back in 2016 when I had that experience. So that experience of being in a space where I didn't feel like I belonged definitely inspired me and motivated me to explore the possibility of building something different. And I think, to answer the question, like, that personal experience inspired me. And then, during COVID, I had the opportunity to work with Senator Colin Deacon and do some research around Black entrepreneurship. I'll put a link to that in the chat as well for folks who may have not seen it. But having that experience that I had, be validated, and hearing from hundreds of entrepreneurs, Black entrepreneurs across the country who also said they didn't feel like they belonged, or they didn't get the service that they were looking for from chambers of commerce, from banks. Those sorts of experiences definitely motivated and inspired me, and continue to inspire me to this day, because we still hear stories of people who are not getting the service that they deserve. So I think some of those kind of experiences have been key drivers for me.
Powerful. Effia?
Okay. Yeah, so somewhat like what Alfred said, my entrepreneurship journey began in high school. I was selling, well, it was called Afia's Cupcakes and Things. I was selling chocolate lollipops and cupcakes to students and staff. I got the support from some teachers and my peers, and ultimately we shut down, but that was the beginning, because I guess you can't be selling stuff at school. But I definitely started there, and I got the support from my peers. And for me, it was the spark of something, right? And the support I received. And so I did that. Business didn't work out. I've done a million other things that didn't work out, but I was able to push through those things and understand that this is who I am as a person. I'm not just a small business owner, I'm an entrepreneur. And so with that thought, And the support I've gotten from my friends and family and people who have been, oh, they support this business, they support this business, they support this business. I've been able to continue to keep growing, you know, and whatever it is that I choose to do. But then also be able to share that story with somebody who's just beginning, who thinks, oh, maybe I can't do this, or I tried something before and I failed. Failure is part of the process, you know? And so it's important that you have people who let you know that, yeah, things didn't work out for me, but I'm making things work now, you know? And so that's part of the message that I want to continue to spread. The mentorship aspect of it that I've gotten, Black Girls Inc. kind of came to me during COVID. And my mentor, Shernette, she actually came to me with the program and said, listen, I'm giving you an opportunity, create a 6-week program that's meant for women. This is the parameters, go. And she gave me that and we created it and we did it. We've had to kind of go back to the drawing board as to how to continue to help these women, but we did it. We started. Some of the women are on here today, and they were able to go through the process. We still connect in the WhatsApp group. We're still helping each other, still supporting each other, things like that. And that's, for me, one of the main things that continues to inspire me is seeing that camaraderie, that support. I've been to Atlanta 4 times in the past 2 years. And when you go there, the feeling of togetherness that you see with Black people, you walk around and that person's driving a big car. And I'm like, I don't know what you do, but good for you. You go to their stores, you see, and you just want to support. I want to spend my money. I want to give you my money because I want to show you support, because I know you support people who look like me. And that's important. And while we have this universe on the internet, in Toronto, I feel like that's something that we really need to build. And supporting one another and building those networks in person, going to each other's things. And I know there are a lot of people doing those, and we need to come together and just be a bigger system together, right? So things like this ecosystem is important, because you need to see yourself in business. You need to see yourself in success, right? And once you do that, it's easier to think that, hey, I could do that, right? So long-winded, but yeah, a lot of things inspire me, and I'm hopeful for the future for Black people. Money is the universal language. And when you have that, you have power. And that's what people listen to. And when you have that, you're able to then advocate for yourself, for your people, and put yourselves in better situations for your family, for your mental health, for all of that. And so that's where I come from in the economic standpoint.
Amazing. I mean, the power, the energy, the passion is definitely heard. And I hope everyone here heard it and felt it. And make it be contagious. And last but not least, Clavia, please.
Hi, thanks, Matt. I think my inspiration comes from, I guess, seeing the change in I think the consciousness from when I was young till now. I think I've seen like our community. I don't know if they've come to some kind of realization, you know, with all the problems and the struggles and stuff we've been going through, especially since COVID, you know, George Floyd, the whole mix. And I think we've seen that energy start to coalesce and start to form these strong bonds. And we have people and organizations like what Victor is doing and everyone in this group. And we're starting to really make solid connections to really empower our people. And I think that's what inspires me to see the growth, to see the change, to see the impact that what we're doing, that what Black people are doing to collectively help Black people. And I think, you know, that's something that we've been kind of working on for a long time, and it's going to continue to be a challenge. But that's one thing that really inspires me, to see the change, to see the connection that we have from amongst the diaspora. We've been to Ghana a couple of times now. Ghana feels like a second home to me. So that connection with the motherland, I think that's important, because for us being from the diaspora, I'm from Barbados original, but having that connection with Africa and Ghana directly. And I've been there twice now, and I know it's a definitive thing. It's in my heart, it's in my soul. And I think that's also part of the healing part. And that's also part of the things that we need to do as a collective to also empower ourselves. So my inspiration comes from seeing that connection, seeing how we can work together with our brothers and sisters on the continent, seeing how we can work together with our other diasporans in North America, in the UK, and the Caribbean, seeing how we can all connect these different hubs and really empower our people. You know, I come from like a Garvey mentality, so I feel like this is like the beginning of a new Black Star Alliance type of movement, and I'm really happy, and it inspires me to see all of us coming together to do this type of work for our community. And I feel like it's us by us and by our hands, and you know, that's what inspires me.
Amazing. That is definitely permeated. And again, that word ecosystem, that bonding of West, you know, the West meeting the East, meeting the North, meeting the South. It's all of us combined. That's how we will make change, right? So amazing. So, okay, so let's flip it a little bit and let's talk about the challenges. And, so let's start with Alfred. Alfred, what are the challenges and barriers do you face in your work, and how are you and your team able to overcome them?
Yeah, great question. In terms of our work, so again, we are an ecosystem partner, and our goal is to support, build capacity in entrepreneurs, right? Like that's why we exist. How do we give them the access to the resources? And, I think oftentimes I'm challenging my team to think about, put yourself in the shoe of the entrepreneur. Like, don't just create the work and try to put it out there, and don't also think about it from what works best for ourselves as an organization. Like, think about the experience of an entrepreneur accessing these resources. And so, I would say a challenge the ecosystem faces is inundating entrepreneurs with forms and surveys, and if we're really trying to collect high quality data, and if we want entrepreneurs to be genuinely engaged and showing up showing up and sharing information that is valuable to support their growth, I think we all need, the ecosystem as a whole needs to be better at how we engage with entrepreneurs directly. And I think this is why Beck exists, right? Beck is here to provide this kind of anchor hub that will be more intentional about the surveys that are provided to the ecosystem, et cetera. So I think a challenge is just the fact that there's so much content out there. There's so much noise in terms of content, and there's so many new programs available for entrepreneurs. A challenge is definitely, ensuring that the entrepreneurs are able to find out, almost do like wayfinding and pathfinding of what's necessary for them or what's relevant for them. And so that's something that I think the entrepreneurs are challenged with in the ecosystem. And in a tribe, we're also challenged with that. And I think we just try to think about it from how do we provide the resources to entrepreneurs in the most relevant way, and in a way that doesn't create more process or forms or things like that for them to do. Like, how do we do this in such a way that entrepreneurs get access to the information they're looking for in a very efficient way? And I'll give you an example. When in the past, when I've been a part of programs, you almost get assigned like an account manager, or you get assigned, you have to meet with someone in order to meet with a service provider or a mentor or a coach. And, that always, to me, it was just, it felt a little, it felt like another step or someone in the way of me getting access to what I was looking for. And so what we've done is we've created a roster of mentors and coaches at Tribe. And these are former entrepreneurs, current entrepreneurs, subject matter experts in marketing, finance, accounting, bookkeeping. And what we've done is when an entrepreneur reaches out to Tribe and says, I'm interested in the mentorship, we have a private link and we send them the link, and it includes all the roster of mentors and coaches. When you click on someone, it includes their area of expertise, and then it has their link to their Calendly. And so that's just a little example of like, how do we get out the way and create the access direct from entrepreneur to the support that they're looking for? I think little things like that can make the experience of entrepreneurs in the ecosystem a lot more seamless. So, as an entrepreneur, I was challenged with that. And I think the ecosystem, I've noticed over the past couple of years, the ecosystem can be challenged with that, with so much information. And I think we're overcoming that by just tweaking our processes and our systems a little bit, such that these entrepreneurs can get access to what it is they're looking for in a way more efficient kind of way. So that's an example of a challenge that I think exists in the ecosystem today.
Amazing. And family, please, if you have any questions, because the time just goes so fast and we have so many powerful leaders here right now, please put them in the chat box. And for the panelists, please make sure you put your information. So even if we don't get to the questions, they'll be able to email you directly if they want to speak to you one-on-one. Okay. Let's go to Nerissa. How about you? What are the challenges and barriers that you're facing, and how are you working to overcome it?
Yeah, definitely. So firstly, Alfred, I really like what you said about the mentorship, and I would love to actually contact you about that. Removing some of the layers of access is fantastic. So I'm gonna hit you up. So one of the things that are barriers for our ecosystem is access to capital, and we know that there's loans and grants out there, but so many of our entrepreneurs still face issues in trying to access those. So we really want to find ways for them to access money on their own, use their skills, use their services and their goods, which are all excellent, to access that money and make their own money. So one of the things we implemented was a co-op style retail store. Many of our members don't have access to retail shelf space. It's difficult to start. It's difficult. You can't even pay the amount of money to get onto store shelves in many of these major franchises. So what we did is we opened the store. We allow them to showcase and sell their products on our shelf space. It's in a very high traffic area. So we've seen we've only been open since September 2022, and we've already amassed over $260,000 in sales, direct sales for Black-owned businesses. So if you want to see the change and looking for you to implement the solutions that they need. And I think that's one of the ways that we've been successfully able to put money in the pockets of not just one or two entrepreneurs, but we've got 44 Black-owned businesses from across Canada selling in that store and reaching new markets, because you have a different marketplace here in Vancouver versus what you have across the prairie and back east. And we have a lot of tourists coming through that store. So what we are hearing now is people might buy a body cream from our store from a vendor, and then they love the product, obviously, and then they go back to their website and we'll start ordering from them directly from their website. So they're generating new leads and new links to customers that they would not have had elsewhere. And then we extend that now, and we're working on a retail expansion plan to try to move these businesses from being in our store to being in the Loblaws and the Save on Foods and the chain stores, the Walmarts. So we really want to grow that access and not just have them stay in our store, but now we want you to get into the box chains, and we want you to really see the growth in yourself and believe in yourself and make that money for yourself. The loans and grants are great, but we believe our community can make that money for itself.
Absolutely, and congratulations on that. I know, the people you're helping, the family that you're helping is really making an impact in their lives, and I want to thank you for that, because I'm also an entrepreneur years ago, and I wish something like that was in existence. It could really make an impact from back then, but it's about the now. So kudos. Okay, who do I pick next? Effia, how about you?
Okay, so some of the challenges, I would like to echo a lot of what Nerissa is saying. We met in Ghana as well in December, so we talked about a lot of these things in terms of spaces and stuff for entrepreneurs. And in Toronto, it's pretty much the same in terms of getting your products in stores. And there are a few people who have come up with stores that are Black focused, Black owned. But then there's issues of price to get into the store. There's an issue of a lot of people applying and only a few spaces. And that's not a knock on them, because at the same time, that's great to have that issue, to have so many to choose from. But then also the high prices of leasing out spaces in malls and things like that, right? And so sometimes it becomes a barrier for some of the entrepreneurs that we do talk to and deal with. I know with Shernette, her part of it was to move the larger pieces at the top in terms of contacting a Walmart and trying to see our shoppers and getting some of the products in there. That was difficult. So she's actually opened up a spa in Vaughan, just outside Vaughan Mills, where some of the women who participate in the program, their products will also be sold there. as an option. But finding places, physical stores, because it is the brick and mortar system is hard for any one business to kind of sustain. We're seeing closures a lot, especially through COVID and afterwards. You see a store for 2 or 3 years, and after that, they're just not there anymore. And so coming together and building those and figuring out places where we could come together and sell our things so we can all win, rather than 1 or 2 people winning off everybody else, I think has been something that we've been trying to figure out. Funding, as she said as well, huge, huge, huge. Some of the issues that we faced as an incubator was the sustainability in funding. Our funding ran out and we were promised funding and didn't come through. We started the program with the promise of funding, then the funding never came through, and it's a lot, and what we're finding is that some people are willing to volunteer their time because they believe in the vision, but there's other people who deservedly so want to be paid, right? For their time, for their efforts, and having the money to do so is huge. And so there's a barrier there in terms of not only finding the funding, getting it and securing it, right? Is it sustainable? And so what we find is that during especially the murder of George Floyd, a lot of the governments, local municipalities were so willing to give out money to make it seem as if they were really about change and wanting to help Black people. And we're starting to see that dry up. Right. And so figuring out if that's funding, going to private funding sources to get that on our own or what, but just figuring that aspect out. Another challenge that we faced is time. Time is, eludes a lot of us. And I think that's what we're fighting for. Beyond having money, time. Time is what you want, right? You want the time to spend with your family. You want the time to have the space in your brain to think, to feel at home, to feel safe. And because we're kind of in this rat race, we don't get that. And so when we're dealing with the entrepreneurs in our program, it's difficult because we were meeting at night, right? For an hour. Sometimes it went over an hour and a half, 2 hours. We try to accommodate the women because they're working. Many of them are working full time. And so finding the time for them to actually participate in the programming, and their kids have programming. I was dealing with that. All 3 of my children play sports. And so running home after practice to jump on a Zoom and being a few minutes late because somebody was driving super slow on the highway, you know what I mean? So those are some of the things that we have to think about. Also figuring out places where women could come together, not even just over Zoom, like physical places for women, and thinking about things like childcare, right? Getting money in people's pockets, because coming to these things are great. Talking, listening is great, but at the end of the day, that doesn't feed or pay your bills today. And a lot of people are finding it difficult to pay their bills today, and they don't get to think about the future. They don't get to think about, okay, let me just sacrifice right now because in a year or so, 6 months or so, I will see the fruits of my labor. It's survival mode for a lot of people. And that's something that we are dealing with as a Black community, and something that we're trying to mitigate and figure out how to work around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't mean to cut you. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of things. Those are just some of them.
Oh, there's so much. And you know what? Please put it in the chat. Continue, because as a family, we need to know these things, right? But the hour, it goes so fast. So I want to make sure I get everyone.
No
So
problem.
Obi, I'm sorry, Dipo, please do this.
No, thank you, Matt. So in terms of the problem that we face, I think, I'd like to actually kind of share that context of the problem that we're trying to solve now. We are addressing a generation, decades, centuries of the Black community being in a position where they've had to struggle economically, they've had to struggle socially. And, there's been a lot of support that we've gotten over the past few years to try to bridge this. But the work we do is just a small component of a broader work that's needed in our community. And when we think about how little the resource that we have to do this work, we then realize that we're in a position where we need to have to start prioritizing how to make the most of this moment, because we don't know how long we'll still keep having these resources to do the work or still keep getting that support. I think the point that I'm trying to create here is that we have a Black community, we have the Black business community, we have a broader community, all of us from different locations here, but experiencing similar challenges. And to solve that, it's beyond the work we do right now as organizations that are trying to serve the Black community. I think it's multi-dynamic and the community has a role as well to play for it. Many of the entrepreneurs that we support, we have more needs and more requests than we have the capacity, the time, and the resources that we can provide. And of course, we can continue to ask different systems, the government, and all these other resources to try and help it, but that's not going to be enough. We need the community as well. I think we need to almost create a Black economy for ourselves, because for communities that have a lot more resources, they back each other, but we don't as much. We don't. And when we think about how we can create a lasting impact and make the most of the opportunity that we have right now, we need to back ourselves. We need to back ourselves by, supporting our businesses. We need to back ourselves by lending a help to someone where you may not directly benefit from it. We need to back ourselves in ways in which we need to pull each other up. Other communities are doing it and we're not doing that as much. And we need not just those that are working in the nonprofit space trying to support businesses, but we need those in academia. We need our researchers. We need everyone on board to try and make the most of this opportunity, because right now we have progress being made and we need to continue to leverage on that progress. So what problem are we facing? The problem we're facing is that we need a community to come together more. We've been doing that over the past few months, but we need more of it. We need more of it to support our entrepreneurs. We need more of it to support our businesses. We need more of it to get to the next level. We need more of it to create successes. We can only do as much as organizations servicing to the limit of the resources that we have. But as a community, we can even do more. We need to help each other. I think if there's anyone here today attending, if there's any way that you think you can contribute, please do. Because the impact of the work that we do today is generational. The work that and the opportunity of being able to be on the table today, doing the work we do, is a lot of labor work for people that have come before us. So if we're going to create a better tomorrow for the entrepreneurs to come, because by the way, this problem actually isn't going. It's going to grow. So we need to create a better system for our kids, for the generation to come before us, whereby they don't need to ask for this, but that they are there where they are thriving. And so if we look at the work we do today, not in the lens of the 2, 3, 4 years we've done, or the 5, 6 years or 7 or 8 years we can do, but see it as generations to come, we need to build a foundation that will enable a Black entrepreneur to succeed, not necessarily just from the perspective of getting direct support from organizations like us, but being able to succeed without the need of organizations like us. And we need the community to achieve that. So what problem are we facing? We need community to come together to help our entrepreneurs, to help the people that are striving out there, people that are making sacrifices, because those are the people that will create jobs for our kids to come. We're in a community where I have many friends and colleagues and families with kids that are in the university systems or graduating, and they're looking for their first internship opportunity. And oftentimes, the Black economy can be the opportunity where you can lend your brother, your sister, your cousin, that first job, that first opportunity to break through. So this work we do, we need all hands on deck. It's multifaceted. Organizations can only do as much. Thank you.
Exactly. Clavia, Blessed, do you agree with that? Would you put thumbs up so I can get to the next question? Is that okay? Did
Yeah,
you
2
need to
seconds. Well,
summarize that? You go ahead.
I think I'm just going to say quickly, Dipo, you said it all in a nutshell. I've always said it from day one, all hands on deck. But here's the thing, this is multi-generational, and the solution that we hope to see will likely outlive most of us. So I think when we frame this, the problem that we're dealing with in that context, then it becomes, what can we do to build that foundation? And I love what Dipo was saying, because it's about the foundation that we build. The other thing I'm going to add to that is logistics. One of our number one challenge, if not our main challenge, is logistics. A lot of our entrepreneurs have difficulties getting their materials, their products, and everything. And we have issues with distribution. I think long-term solution, I don't want to focus on the challenges as much. I want to focus a little bit more on the solution. Long-term solution, logistically speaking, we need to form more business connects with the continent, with Africa. And I feel like that's going to be I think the more we can do that and form legitimate business direct contacts with suppliers, manufacturers, companies in Africa, Black companies, and we do the Black to Black, B to B, B to G, the whole situation. I think that is part of the long-term solution. And we need to really, as organizations on this side in Canada and North America, I think, and as leaders, I think we need to kind of push that discussion and push that conversation, because we can have our own ecosystem in Canada and we can try to work together as Black people in Canada. But the numbers that we're working with, I think we're more powerful when we engage the other ecosystems, when we engage with the motherland, when we engage with the UK, with North America and the Caribbean. I think when when the commerce is working on those hubs, amongst each other, then I think that is going to solve a lot of our problems. So we need to work on logistics, distribution, transportation, shipping, those kind of things. I think will help us to frame and to solve the solutions, that the problems that we have, and to solve them on a long-term basis. So yeah, I'm done.
Beautiful. Bless, anything you wanted to add before I get to the next
Yeah, I
one?
was going to piggyback off of what Nerissa was saying about, the funding and grants is great, but we really want to be self-sufficient. And that's really why we got the event space. Like I said, I was my own avatar and we needed affordable spaces. A lot of co-working spaces are office spaces. And then Effie had talked about retail spaces. But what we wanted was for service-based providers, because a lot of times people are doing hair, nails, and things from their home. And so one is that we offer a tiered price chart. And so there's market rate, and then there's a discount for the BIPOC community. And then we also, the other issue is a lot of times grants don't include salaries when you're a startup. And so then focusing on volunteers, someone mentioned that that's challenging. So what we did to offset, like I said, people were constantly coming in for support, but there was no compensation there. And so what we did is put together a paid membership that's extremely affordable. We consider it like a Netflix or an Amazon Prime membership, but for personal and professional development. So it's only $7 a month. And with that, you get an additional 50% off your renting. So you're able to rent this space as low as $25 an hour if you're on the VIP membership. And that's how we were able to sort of combat the fact that we didn't have funding to cover the cost of all the support we needed. So that's, goes to being self-sufficient. And like I said, the space itself is to develop a revenue stream, being an event space, but a solution to the entrepreneurs. So that's sort of how we're trying to combat those challenges. And I just want to quickly address the question in the chat around rest and taking a moment to relax. I'm going to touch on that because we've all talked about time and needing more support and needing more hands on deck. And mine is just that I listen to my body, because sometimes I can go and go and go, but when my body tells me no, I listen. And I think it sounds simple, but if some people just did that, like listen to your body when it's like, it's tired, you've gone too many, burning the midnight oil, too many nights back to back. I think just that simple step of listening and being like, tonight I'm not going to, even though I have all these things on my desk, I think makes all the difference. So like I said, I think it's simple and effective, and I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Every single response was dynamic and something to think about and take away. There's somebody once said, with pain comes change. So I think all of us can really relate to that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to combine these last two questions because they're pretty relative, and that's how we'll be able to get these last two in. So let's start with Alfred. So how do you feel about the future of Black entrepreneurship ecosystem in Canada, and your closing thoughts? We want like your call to action in that regard. You know what I'm saying? Help me, let me know if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Matt. My closing remarks in terms of the future and the opportunity is definitely around capital. And Nerissa, I love what you're doing in terms of ensuring that these businesses have revenue, and I think when I think about capital as well, it's great to have Face. Face is a great addition to the ecosystem. The banks are lagging behind, so we do need Face in the ecosystem. We need more venture capital, so we need to get more capital in the hands of entrepreneurs. And venture capital is also asset class which that can happen. And so, making investments, and this also goes down with what Dipo was saying earlier about supporting our founders, investing in them. And, we need to ensure that we have more Black-led venture funds in Canada. This is something that folks in the States have done a really good job at, is establishing more Black-led VCs. Now they are dealing with various elements down in the States related to lawsuits and things like that. However, the establishment of Black-led funds have led to an increase in businesses that are supported for sure down south in the north in the States. So, right now in Canada, we have BKR Capital, led by Isaac and Lise. And, I think there's room for more. I know Black Opportunity Fund is going to be building their own investment fund. And I know Dipo and his team are doing some great work out on the West Coast, thinking about that and looking at that as a possibility. And my team at Tribe is looking at that as a possibility. But we need to have diversified ways of investing in entrepreneurs. It can't just be loans and grants. The ecosystem folks are working hard to ensure that these folks have viable businesses that can, have revenue, solid revenue, and connect them with different banks and grant folks. But we also need equity. We need to be able to make equity investments into Black founders. And so venture funds is a way that I think we can develop the ecosystem even further. That way we ourselves as a community can also invest equity into businesses across the country. So those would be my closing remarks. And Matt, I just want to say thank you to you all for listening, for being here. I hope what I had to offer was valuable. And I'll put my information in the chat in case anyone's interested in reaching out. Thank you.
I appreciate that so much. How about you, Nerissa?
My closing remarks would be, we have an event called Afro World Expo coming up in June. It's June 1st and 2nd. It's a 2-day event. It's a marketplace of vendors. So like I said, we want to put money in businesses' hands. So we provide opportunities for them to make money. This is an expo, the biggest expo in Western Canada of Black-owned businesses. We're at the Vancouver Convention Center. No matter where you are in Canada, if you are interested in attending and showcasing your business at that event, I think I put the link in the chat, afroworldexpo.com. You can sign up to be a vendor there. If you happen to be out here, if you live in Vancouver, please come out and attend the event, even if it's just to support the businesses that are there and buy their products and check out their services. We also have the second day is going to be all about artists, because I think a lot of the times we forget that artists are entrepreneurs and we need to support them as well. So the second day is just going to be a showcase of artistry, whether they're drummers or dancers or singers or whatever they do in the entertainment and artistic field. That day is we have a main stage, and we're just going to have artist after artist after artist showcase their skills and their talents, come out and support that as well. We need to showcase our businesses. We need to help them to make money. And the only way to do that is to provide them with the platforms to be able to do so. So those would be my closing remarks. Thank you so much for having me here today. It was a real blessing to be here with each and every one of you. And thank you, Mahat, for moderating this wonderfully.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate you so much. And Effia, how about yourself?
Yeah, so my closing remarks is that attending things like this is very helpful. Being able to network with people who look like you and getting an understanding, and may spark new ideas. I echo what Alfred said in terms of funding venture capitalism by Black people for Black people. Funding is it's a headache, and even when it is a grant, has been spoken about, the regulations behind it and the micromanaging of it isn't conducive to how we normally operate, and so it becomes a barrier for us. And so having funding from different sources is huge. I can't echo that even more than I am right now. But yes, working together figuring out us as an ecosystem. What are we doing? What specifically can I help my people with? What can you specifically help our people with? So we're not all doing the same thing, I think is important as well. And continuing to get the message out there that there are systems of support. We are support. We want to see better for our people. Yeah, I'm here. I'm excited. And as was said, this is not necessarily just for me in my lifetime. It's for my children. It's for their children. It's for your children. And so we have to play our role in all of this as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'd like to say thank you for having me on. Thank you for listening. You did a great job. I'm honored to be on this panel with such brilliant minds, and all of us have the same mindset in that Black people can do better. We will do better. Let's help each other do better. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. How about you, Dipo?
So I'm going to start answering the first question in terms of what's to come for the Black ecosystem, the Black entrepreneurship community. I'll say this is our Title IX moment. For those who don't know, Title IX is the US legislation that removed discrimination for women participation in sport. This is our Title IX moment for the Black entrepreneurship and for the Black community that we're currently going through. We need to make the most of it. In terms of my closing remarks, I'll say basically, we need to embrace our unique perspective and experiences using that in the innovation ecosystem. Our background gives us unique, invaluable insight, and we should not hesitate to include that in the work we do. Our personal history is rich. We need to include it in our story. Also, for those that are pursuing their own venture, please, please, please actively seek mentors, build your own network. There are networks out there that we are creating within our ecosystem, within our community, within our organization, as the Tribe Network. There are other networks here with the Black Business Association of BC, with the ones that we're doing in BBVA and those in Toronto. Be part of your network, build your network, and actively seek mentors. Success is not achieved alone. Find individuals who have followed your pathway and have been successful. Learn from them and lean on them. Remember that your growth is going to stem from the community that you cultivate, and you're not going to succeed alone. And lastly, be resilient. The path to success is riddled with many challenges. So instead of viewing them as obstacles, look at them as an opportunity to learn and grow. Embrace these challenges and know that there's a community out there that will be striving for you to be successful. Thank you.
Playing with me. Thank you so much, Dipo. That was powerful words. We really appreciate you and appreciate you taking the time to coming on. How about you, Clavia?
Sorry. Thanks, Matt. I don't really need to add much. Everyone has pretty much covered all of the bases. I think we have a huge challenge on our hand, but I see the infinite potential in this group. We have the potential and we have the capacity, the skills, and the manpower to actually solve our own problem and to kind of elevate our community. The only one thing I'm going to add to that, everyone has said everything. It's a long list of stuff we have to do. We know it. The only thing I'm going to add is please don't forget the continent. I'm big on the Pan-African thing, and I'm big on us connecting back to the motherland, not just culturally, spiritually, but also economically. And I think there's lots of opportunities for us in the Black ecosystem in Canada to create, to even help to build and nurture a Black entrepreneurial ecosystem in another country, whether it's Ghana, West Africa, East Africa, it doesn't matter where. I think there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of potential for us to make connections there business-wise or economically, and to empower our brothers and sisters, whether they're in Africa or the Caribbean or any other, in the world. So I want to encourage we use technology to our advantage to connect the different hubs, to disseminate the information, to make the resources accessible to our community. Yeah, those are all great, but I also want to emphasize the connection in terms of B2B or B2G with Africa and the other hubs. I think once we start working in the network amongst each other, I think that is going to build a foundation for us to get the results that we want to see in the future. And I think, yeah, we all have it. We all have the right mission. We have the right purpose, and our heart's all in the right place. We just need to connect the dots. So thank you all for having us. I appreciate all of you, and I really wish you all the best because we need to build this. The time is now, and the people are us. Thank you.
So true. The time is now. And last, but of course, definitely not least, Bless. Please close us out.
So I'm just going to elaborate on what I put in the chat. And I have an interview on my Instagram page with Adosh. My Instagram is I am Blessed Brooks. And she has a remarkable story. And I'm just going to recite a little bit of it because I want to encourage people to just get active. And I said, join every network. So 2 quick stories. Sometimes we talked about the challenges here and, not having all the support and hands on deck we need. And that means some things fall through the cracks. And so one is that I had invited someone to a meeting we were having very last minute, but I dropped the link. She jumped on the call. And in that call, she had someone sponsor a trip for her to go to Africa for a program that was happening. So just being flexible and jumping at opportunities led to that open door. The second thing is that we hosted an event, our first networking mixer with the funding that we got from BBI. And there were so many things getting in the way of that night happening, but we pushed through. And the lady that we had come speaking, we opened it up for vendors to take the stage and talk about their business. 2 people signed up, only 1 showed up. The one that showed up, she tells the story in the IG interview that she sat in her car struggling with anxiety before coming inside for about 2 hours. And that this was the first thing she was coming outside of her home since the pandemic. And so it was because of that event that she pushed through and she came and she talked about her business, was opened so many doors for her. One was huge, that she connected with a cousin that she never knew. And so many things came from that small little event. And so I want to encourage people to tap into everything that you've heard here today. There's so many great organizations and you don't know what it's going to lead to. So again, so many doors were open because if you're available, jump on a call like this. There was so many remarkable things shared and so many different people here. And so tap into as much as you can. Subscribe to newsletters. I know sometimes it can be overwhelming because you're getting them weekly and from multiple ones, but you just don't know what's going to drop into your inbox at the right time. And I think a lot of times our community, we're here praying for solutions. It could be in your inbox. It could be on a Zoom that you've been invited to, but you don't attend. And so we have resources. The whole community, everybody on here has resources.
Amazing. Wonderful way to end it. I want to thank my esteemed panelists. You guys are just amazing, bright stars. I feel so good about the future when people like you guys are out there for our community, whether you're in Africa, whether you're in the Caribbean, doesn't matter, because guess what? We represent all. We are all one here on this planet Earth. And please make sure that you put all your information, your details in the chat box so people can reach out to you. And my family, thank you for joining. Thank you for coming on. I want to also thank the Dream Legacy Foundation for putting this on. I have the sexy hat on as well, but I'm an old school entrepreneur, so I know what it feels like. I know the pain, I know the tears, and I know the rewards. So again, this is for the next generation. So please, let's all come together and expand this ecosystem into a powerful leadership ecosystem that it can be. So once again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We'll leave it open for a little bit. Make sure you guys take screenshots, anything that you guys need. And yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for coming and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye, guys.